Childhood is over, my girls. Kick ass tomorrow.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Now that we've all had a chance to see the Coven finale, it's time to talk about our favorite moments and try to put the season into context. We even know a few things about Season 4. It's going to take place back in the 1950s. So let's talk about our top 5 moments first, and then I'll do my review, then we can kind of discussify Season 4 a little bit. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. Number 5, Stevie Nicks' music video. Such a trippy way to begin an episode. I'm not a fan of Stevie Nicks, but I have to say that using the music video in the episode was so weird that I have to give them props for trying. There was a cat too. I definitely do not remember seeing a cat in that house. I kept wondering why they used Stevie Nicks this season. In the pantheon of guest stars on American Horror Story, the Axeman still reigns supreme, but this Dream State montage was such a big deal I feel like I have to put it on the list. That being said, before I die someday, hopefully I'll get a music video too. Number 4, the Axeman's Bargain. The catfish introduction to the Axeman kind of misleads you into thinking they might be in heaven just because the colors are so warm and there's so much light, but they were both definitely in hell. It was a little easier to distinguish whenever we saw Queenie's hell just because the color was so desaturated, but I think the cabin was really just meant to represent Fiona's version of hell and the Axeman's version of heaven. I don't know why he would be in heaven though. I guess his hell is just dealing with Fiona for the rest of eternity. The really interesting thing is that both their spirits were coexisting in that scenario. The show was really kind of fuzzy on the details of hell. Normally, you'd think that most characters would experience their own subjective hell, just like Misty. She was by herself, basically. I guess that Papa Legba has a lot of control over that, because we did see Angela Bassett and Kathy Bates sharing the same hell in that torture chamber. The bargain that the Axeman made specifically with Fiona, though, was that they would spend eternity together, so Papa Legba is just making sure that she fulfills her end of the contract. Number 3, Myrtle's untimely demise. Such a drama queen, but I really love how much bigger Frances Conroy's part was this season. You know, last season she was the angel of death, and this season she just kept dying. I did end up tuning a lot of her character out during the season just because she was so over the top, and even though Coven was supposed to be over the top, I feel like she took it just a little too far sometimes. Regardless, she had the best death in the episode. It was very noble of her to demand the traditional witch's punishment, but I don't feel like she needed to be burned alive. Couldn't they have just broken her neck? I have to say my favorite things about Myrtle this season though were that weird instruments she played and the weird relationship she had with those strange artists that she kept talking about. Number 2, the Seven Wonders montage. In a montage-heavy episode, this was definitely the most exciting one. The entire season had been teasing the Seven Wonders, these big acts that the witches were going to perform, and as much fun as it was watching Madison and Zoe puppet master Kyle around, the best part was actually Kyle's revenge after it was all done. I totally love Madison, but I agree with Kyle, she probably was a pretty terrible actress. And my number 1 moment, the one true supreme. Who else was surprised that it was not one of the girls? Last week, one of my predictions was that it was someone else, but I did not predict that it was Cordelia, so I was really pleasantly surprised. Her final moments with Fiona were obviously the best dramatic scene in the episode, but I feel like it was a nice bookend to the series as well as their relationship. I feel like they could have actually ended the episode right there and it would have been just fine. I love that Fiona basically told Cordelia that it was her own fault that she didn't realize that she loved her, just not in the way she wanted. It's just Fiona owning up to the fact that she knows she's a bitch. Who else laughed a little when she said that all that hate was not personal? It's just that Cordelia had started sucking her power the minute she was born. Yikes, that is going to take some therapy to process. I will say that honorable mention does go to that last moment where that random new student asks, what is the Supreme? And Cordelia's face flickers a little bit. I think it's a really nice indicator that Cordelia now realizes that someone else is sucking her power and the cycle is just continuing. Let me know what your favorite moment was, and let me know, were you satisfied with the way the episode left each of the characters? Overall, I give the finale a B+. I didn't really feel like there were any stakes. Because it was an ensemble cast, there was no one single character to pour all of my hopes into. Originally, I was rooting for Zoe, but then Queenie became so sympathetic and it really split the focus of the show. I even liked Madison until the whole Kyle situation went south and she went from bad to just pure evil. On a show full of evil characters though, I feel like my favorite was the Axeman. It felt like the only actors on the show that had a chance against Danny Houston were Jessica Lange and Kathy Bates. Bates was definitely my second favorite evil person on the show. My biggest criticism of the finale though was the lack of a real climax. I actually consider the battle with the witch hunters to be the real climax of the season, and everything after was just a slow decompression. With that in mind, let me know who was your favorite evil character on the show, and who was your favorite character overall. Obviously I said the Axeman is my favorite evil character, but my favorite characters overall is actually a tie between Madison and Nan. Alright, so big announcement. Be sure to catch up on Hannibal because season 2 is coming back at the end of February. I'm going to be doing weekly videos. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. It is going to be delicious. Right now, click here to get my last Coven vid, and click here to get my special 100,000 subscribers thank you video. Thank you so much, you guys are amazing. High fives, I'll see you tomorrow.